out of 100 women said that they have, because I don't have the new version for whatever reason. How many hundred women said a friend has given her a gift that she'd only display when they come over and visit? Let's try this again. That should be fine. This is for even. How many hundred women said a friend has given her a gift that she'd only display when they come over and visit? Eamon says 24. Alex, do you agree with that? Do you think it's higher or lower? He says it's higher. And that number is 28. And your base card is a 6. Since you have control of the board, you can play that card or you can change it. And the 6 now becomes a 7. You have to play this card, unfortunately. Lower than the 7. It is a queen. Eamon gets a chance now with a 4, and you have to play this card. Higher than the 4. It's a king. He is going to freeze on the king. How many hundred married women said they'd still get lonely even though they're married? Hundred women said they still get lonely even though they're married. 43. Even, do you think that number is higher or lower? He says it's higher. And that number is actually 59. A lot of lonely wives out there. You have a king and you have control of the board. Lower than the king is a 5. Higher than the 5? No, it's the same card. And in this version, it's a loss either way. Alex, you have a 7. Lower than the 7. The king. How many hundred single women said they date a man who said he's divorced but still lives with his wife? $53. Alex, do you think that number is higher or lower? And the actual number is 28. It is much lower. You have control of the board. You can change that card if you want. It's still a 7. Higher than the 7. Nope. 5. Eamon, you have a king. Lower than the king. And it's another king. This is the 4th and final question. Someone must win on this play of the cards. How many hundred single women over the age of 65 and dating said that a married man who kept calling them by their first wife's name? How many 65 over and dating said they'd marry a man who kept calling them by their first wife's name? Alex says a very bullish 55. Even says lower. I think it's going to be much lower, and that number actually is 24. A little bit higher than I thought it would be. Eamon, you can play this, but you have to have every one of these correct. If you make one mistake, Alex wins. You can pass this to Alex, and he has to play every single one. If he loses, you win. He is going to play. What are you going to do with the king? Lower than the king. It's a 10. You have to keep going. Lower than the 10. It's a 4. Higher than the 4. And for the first win, it's an 8. Eamon has won $100, and now we go to the next round. We'll deal out 5 new cards for each player. Eamon, how many married women, 100 married women in Japan, said they lived with their husband before she married him? Now, I will give you a little clue. This is a little taboo. Things that happen in China and Japan are very uncommon that happens in the United States and in Europe. $31. Alex, do you think that number is higher or lower than 31? He says it's higher, and the actual number is 2. As I said, it's very taboo for that to happen. And Eamon, you have an ace, so we know it's going to be lower, hopefully. And it's a king. Lower than the king. It's an 8. He is going to keep going. Lower than the 8. It's a jack. We have to remove all those cards with the ace. Alex, you start off with a 5. Higher than the 5. It's a jack. Lower than the jack. It's a 7. Freeze. Alex is 2 cards away from this being a tied game. How many 100 people said they've hidden something as well as they forgot where they put it? I'm one of them. How many people said they've hidden something and forgot where they put it? I am definitely one of those people. The older I am, the more I do it. Alex says there's some smart people here, but only 32. Eamon, do you think it's higher or lower? Higher. I think it's higher too, and that number actually is 89. So you obviously want to play that card, and lower than the ace is a 10. What are you going to do with the 10? Lower than the 10 is a 9. He's going to keep going lower than the 9. It's a 7. 7s have been very common in this game lately. Freeze on the 7. Eamon is 1 card away from winning the championship. How many 100 women said they had their breast enlarged said that they admit that they've done this? How many 100 women who have had their breasts enlarged said that they have admit of doing this? 47. I will tell you from experience that a lot of women are not shameful that if they had it done, they will tell you. Lower. Dolly Parton is one of them. And the actual number is 41, a little lower. Alex. Alex, you are 2 cards away from tying this game. Change to 7-2. A 9. Lower than the 9. It's a 5. Higher than the 5, and to tie up the game, it's a 2. The tiebreaker, we only draw 3 cards each. Alex, we've asked 100 people. How many nurses said other nurses on their ship gossip about the doctors? $55 in the middle road. I might do it tonight. Higher. I think it's higher too. And the actual number that gossip about the doctors is 74. Oh yeah. Even you have control of the board, if you have an 8. The 8 now becomes a 6. Higher than the 6. It's a king. Lower than the king, and to become the new champion. Is it lower? It is an ace! Oh! Alex, you have to play this card with a 10. Lower than the 10. It's a 6. Higher than the 6, and to become the new champion. It's a jack. Alex won the game. Demon, you held on hard and long, and thank you for being there with us. You have $100 in our hands. Alex, we struck you off on the first one with $200. And then the second level, we give you $400. And then the big bet, you must at least bid half of your money. $200 with an ace. All of it lower than the ace. It's a 6, and you have $400. You can change your card once on each level. Changing the card to number 3. That 6 now becomes a 5. That's a little bit better. $300 higher than the 5. And it was a 4. So you've lost 300. You still have 100 with a 4. $50 higher than the 4. It's a 5. We give you $400 extra on the second level. You now have $550 with a 5. And you can change this card once on this level. $100 higher than the 5. It's a 9. You now have $650. Change it to number 1. And that card now becomes a 6. You have not had much luck. You've had lots of 4, 5, 6, and 7s. We have not seen 3s and 2s lately, so be careful. $300 higher than the 6. It's a queen. You have $950. $50 lower than the queen. It's a 7. You have $1,000. We put the 7 up there. You have to bet at least $500. The 7 now becomes a 10. I don't know. In my opinion, that's not any better. What are you going to do? He is bidding half of it. I think that's good. Half of it lower than the 10. It's a 9. $1,500. You have one chance to win the jackpot, and it's $60,000. $60,000. Number 4. If there's a dollar sign behind that, you win $60,000. No, it was 2. The jackpot is now $70,000. Karen, are you playing next? We've asked 100 people how many hundred single women said they go on her date. No, they would. How many hundred single women said they go with her date even if she pays half of the restaurant bill? How many said they go on the date even if they know they have to pay half of the bill? Doesn't sound like a date to me. 30. Taryn, what do you think about that? I know what I'd say. I say you're on your own. You can eat alone if you're going to make me pay half of it. He says higher. He says that some of the women would be okay with it. And the actual number is 28. Just a little lower. Eamon, your card starts off with a queen. I don't know why we're doing 3 cards and not 5, but okay. Looks like there's a bug. What do you think, Eamon? Oh, Alex. What is going on here? Why does it say Eamon and Alex? There is a glitch in this game. It even confused me. I can fix this really quick. Give me 1 second. Let's fix this. We can fix this. Don't say anything. We can just do it this way. We can do it this way. Okay, Alex, your card is an 8. There we go. That's much better. And the 8 becomes a 6. We've not really had good numbers here. Hello, Andrew. Higher than a 6. That's a 9. Lower than the 9. Nope. Taryn, if you're here, you're starting off with a queen. Lower than the queen. It's a 6. Freeze. Yes, you can. Actually, if it's Daniel and then Andrew. So Daniel's next and then Andrew. And then we'll have to see. We have no time because I'm only here till 5 o'clock. So 1 more hour. How many hundred people said they would turn a friend into the IRS for $10,000? 15. Alex, do you think that number is higher or lower? I'm sorry, but for $10,000, I think I would. And the actual number is 20. You have a 6. You can change that 6. You've been getting some pretty bad cards, Alex. You've had 4, 5, 6, and 7s this whole time since you've been here. You have not had any good cards. He is going to keep the 6 and go higher. See what I mean? 5. Taryn, you have a 6 as well, and you have to play this. Taryn. Higher than the 6. It's a 9. Lower than the 9. It's a 10. We asked 100 people in Plains, Georgia. How many 100 people in Plains, Georgia said a tourist has taken their picture? What do you think, Taryn? And the actual number is 41. You almost won the $500 with that, Alex. Alex, you have a 6. A king. It's a 4. It's a 7. Someone must win this with this play of the cards. How many hundred married men said their family could survive for 6 months with their savings if they lost their job? Karen, you can play and change the 6. But if you lose, Alex automatically wins. You can make Alex play the 7, and if he loses, you win. He is going to play, and he's going to change the 6 to a king. It's a jack. It's an 8. It all comes down to this card. Will Alex win or will Taryn win? Lower than the 8, and for $100. Lower than the 8? No, Alex wins. Fresh cards go up. Alex. How many hundred women who had a baby after turning 40 said they'd been mistaken for their baby's grandmother? It happens more than you think. Even before 40. What do you think, Taryn, about that? Taryn has an ace, so we know it's going to be lower. And it's a 4. 5. What do you think, Taryn? On a 5. It's a queen. Could this be a clean sweep? He's going to go for it. He's going to go lower. If it is, it's a clean sweep. It's an ace. And you lost every single one of those cards. I am so sorry. Alex, you have an ace. Oh, that was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Right? Dot is what I do too. I'd actually say some other words, but... lower than the ace. It's a 9. Lower than the 9. It's a 4. Higher than the 4. It's an 8. He is going to freeze it. Taryn, how many 50 of the U.S. states have more cows than people? That's an interesting question. How many 50 U.S. states have more cows than people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8 would be my guess. Especially out in the plains. I don't know, that sounds like a trick question. I can't imagine there being more cows than any state. He's going to go with 5. What do you think, Alex? There's also a chance of Taryn being exactly right and winning $500. He says it's a bit higher, and the actual number is 10. I'd like to know what states those are. Alex, you can change that card. Hello, Classic Comedy. It's a king. Obviously, you're not going to go higher, so let's go ahead and just do it. Taryn, thanks for joining us. We're sorry. We do have some lovely prizes for you. Alex, you know how this works. $200 on the bottom with a 9, and you can change it once per row. What are you going to change it with? What number? An 8. Well, that didn't help. $50 lower than the 8. It's a 7, $250. Another $50 lower than the 7. This time it's a jack, so you lost $50. That's okay. You still have $200 with a jack. $100 lower than the jack. It's a 6. You get extra money. You now have $700, and you can change the 6 if you want. That 6 now becomes a 3. And the audience goes wild with that number. All of it higher than the 3. It's a king, $1,400. $400 lower than the king. It's a jack, $1,800. $200 lower than the jack. Push. So you didn't lose anything, which is good. You have to bet at least half of this. The jack now becomes an 8. Ooh. Horrible. You have to bet half of this. He is going to go half of this. And this needs to be higher than the 8 to win. Ooh, bonus chance. Oh no! But you have $900. You now have $2,800. You have 2 chances of winning the jackpot. That is now $70,000. $70,000 is a lot of money. 5. No. You have one more chance. Is it behind 3? No, it was 2 again. The jackpot will now be $80,000 the next time we play it. Alex is still holding on. Alex is done playing. Anyone else here? Well, I'm glad we all got to play. We'll try to do it again tonight or some point this weekend.